Hi, I'm Landon Smith with Remax Professionals, and I appreciate you joining me today. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my process for helping a purchaser, someone who wants to buy a home, get into that right home for them. And there's definitely a right way to do this and a wrong way to do this, and a lot of people go about it the wrong way. But here's my process that I recommend to you if you are a homeowner and how we like to do things. Sorry, not a homeowner, but someone who's looking to be a homeowner. And so I think the first step, right? When I get a call from someone who is looking to buy a house, I always first step is to get together, right? Whether that's on a coffee shop or whether it's here. I think that face-to-face interaction establishes trust. It establishes expectations. There's so much good that comes out of that interaction to start the process off right. If it's possible, right? If people are out of the state, then I usually get together on Zoom with them to start that process because this isn't like buying a candy bar, right? You're buying a house. This is your home, something you're going to cherish for years. You're going to create memories with your loved ones. You want this process to go right, for it to be the right home for you. And so, with that said, we'll meet up initially, and that initial meeting usually goes like this. We'll sit down. I like to ask people three questions. I like to ask them, so tell me a little bit about what you're excited about buying the home, right? And then I get to hear like what gets them excited, what makes them click, like why are they looking forward to this process, and I'm listening so that I understand like what type of a person they are, right? So that I know how to better serve them. And then the next question I like to ask is, what are you fearful of? What's something that makes you nervous about this process? And we get to hear about the different things. It may be for one person, it may be I'm worried about the financials. I don't know if we're going to find the right house, right? They're more numbers concerned. Another person may be like, um, you know, I'm concerned that we'll settle for a house, right? We're not going to find what we're looking for, and we're just going to buy something that's, and they're more concerned about the type of house that they buy and making sure that that's the priority. The other people have said things like, yeah, we just don't want to be pressured, that sort of thing. So then I know, we're absolutely going to be very patient, let them, make the decisions and the calls and ask a lot of questions. Um, and then last but not least, I ask them, have you ever worked with a realtor and how did that experience go? Right? Whether it was good or bad. I always like to know if that realtor served them well, what were the things they liked about that realtor? If they didn't serve them very well, what didn't they like? And if they've never had an experience with a realtor, I ask them, what are your perceptions or what have family members, what experiences have family members had with realtors in the past? That really helps me know, what they might be thinking or what preconceptions they may have of this process and working with a real estate agent. And so it's that's what we go through first in the initial meeting, and then after that, I like to talk about how we do business and how we operate. We tend to be way more concerned about making sure that they find the right house and that they are incredibly happy and that we over deliver as far as our value goes, so that they're so excited about our services that they want to refer us to other people. That's more important to us than just making a sale. Because I've learned from my past experiences that when I do a great job for people, they refer me to not one but multiple people going forward, and that tends to be a great stream of business for me, and that's not the reason why I do it, but it's the just kind of the result of treating people right. And that's the most important thing to me is doing the right thing, making sure that we're doing everything in our power based on our expertise to get you into the right home. And so we go over that, and then we like to go over the process. We have this little wheel image that just shows like, hey, here's the first part of the process. This is how it works each step of the way so that they know exactly what to expect. And especially for first-time home buyers, that's huge because a lot of times they have a lot of questions, and we'll ask them along the way, any questions about this, any questions about that, so that we can make sure that we're on the same page moving forward. And then after we do that, I like to tell them a little bit about the market and update them on the stats. Like, what's appreciation look like over the last year? How about the last 4 years? What does inventory look like? The number of homes available on the market for sale right now in our market. And we've got a 7 county area that we always track. Every week we're looking at numbers on that 7 county area to see what our inventory levels are doing, what our appreciation's doing monthly, and making sure we're up to speed on that. Okay, so those are a couple things that I think are really important to go over so that homeowner is competent, they're capable, they know what opportunities are out there, and then we dig into their home search. and we start asking them, okay, what's important to you guys as far as location goes? We'll look at a map and say, all right, north boundary, west boundary, east boundary, south boundary, where do you want to be? And then beyond that, we like to ask them how many bedrooms, bathrooms, do they like HOAs, do they not like HOAs? Do they need a fenced-in yard? Do they need a two-car garage, or what type of parking situation? How big of a yard do they want? Do they want the home to be updated, or do they don't mind updating? Uh, there's all kinds of questions, right? As far as the style and the type of home. Are there any floor plans that you hate? Do you hate bi-levels, for example, or whatever floor plan it is? And making sure that we have a clear understanding of what they like and what they don't like. One thing that drives buyers crazy in my experience is when you send them a ton of homes that aren't anywhere close to what they want out of a home. And so it's so important, in my opinion, to make sure that we're nailing that and sending them homes that are going to be worth their time to even click on the link for. And then after that, after we look at all those homes, what I say is if they have some specific like areas and they're not familiar with the area, we'll just drive around the areas and check out some things, show some amenities so that they know what those areas are like, and we can eliminate area before we start eliminating homes. And the reason for this is the last thing you want to do is get all in love with a bunch of updates, but it's in the wrong location for you. And if you do that, then you're going to be unhappy and you're going to be calling us in a couple of years to move again, right? Which you would think, I would love that, right? But really, I want people to have a great experience and be able to live in a location for as long as they need to be, right? Without having to move based on not liking the house. And so, so after they look at locations and narrow that down, then we start narrowing homes down by going inside homes and checking the homes out. Okay, I like to ask every buyer, if you could rate this home from 0 to 10, that will help me know what you think about the home. So as we go through the properties, if they give it a 7 and that's their highest ranking they've given me, then I'm going to rank every other house compared to that 7, right? So that they can identify, yeah, we really like that one, but this one's better. And this one's a 7.5, it's an 8. And then that one's the SPAR standard, right, that we're ranking every home based on. And so it's a process of elimination. If we have 13 homes to see, we're going to whittle it down to that 1 or 2, right, that they really want to consider. And then once we do that, we pull comps on that property, make sure that we understand, what other homes have sold around there, what the condition of those homes, what the location of those homes looked like, and how that relates to the subject property, and what adjustments do we need to make to determine a value range for that property. And then we'll coach our clients through, here's what I think the strategy should be on this. I think we should attack it this way. If it's been on the market for longer, then we might be more aggressive on our offer. If it hasn't been on the market for very long, then, we may have to go higher on price to be able to get the home, especially if there's other people competing for the home, which happens, especially during the springtime in our market here in the Denver metro area. And so after we identify the comps and think about strategy, then we'll put the offer together for our client, submit that offer, and then what we like to do is submit it to the listing agent. And then if we're in a competing situation, we like to call or send a video to the listing agent of me talking about the clients and talking the clients up about how amazing they are. They're some of the most courteous people we've ever met. They're incredible. They really love the area. They like this place. That's only if we're competing, right? If we're not competing, then we're not going to do that. We're not going to oversell that. But if our objective changes to, we got to sell our clients to the listing agents and the homeowners to make sure that they get this home over somebody else, we got to compete. We got to do that. And so that's another thing that we like to do, just to add value there. And so beyond that, once we get the offer, we'll go through negotiation tactics. And I like to coach our clients through, like, why are we doing this? Why are we negotiating like this? Maybe we're waiting until the next day to respond because we want the seller to think about the counter that they gave us that may have been kind of lame, right? Or not the best counter that we were hoping for. Sometimes silence is our best weapon. We will do whatever we can to try to get the best deal for our buyers. And or if it's a competing situation, like I said, we'll do everything we can to try to get the home that our buyers want. And then once we have that home, we'll connect them with an inspector, make sure to coach them through getting their earnest money in. That they order the appraisal through the lender, so working through that process. If the appraisal comes in low, that's another negotiation. Working through the final walkthrough, making sure and verifying that all the inspection items are done that's all, you know, been done up to standard, and that we have documentation for everything that was done by licensed contractors in most cases. And then on closing day, we love to come and celebrate with our clients. You know, we love to bring a gift, celebrate with them, make sure that they know that they're important to us, and that they're a priority. And so that's really the whole process. And last but not least, we love to keep in touch with our clients. That's what got me in this business, was how fun it is to create new friends through serving them, and then staying in touch with them, you know, along far after closing, to make sure that we're continuing to provide value for them, keep them posted on their home value every year, so that they can track that, and we can let them know what's going on in the market. You know, if they want to sell later on down the road, you know, they're probably going to go with the person that continues to update them on their home value, and keep in touch with them as well. So I know a lot of agents out there that just don't keep in touch with their clients. All they do is sell homes. They're very transactional, and every day on New Year's they start over from scratch. You know, and the way I've built my business over 17 years is to treat people the right way, do everything we can to pour in energy and thought into what we do, and skill into what we do, so that, you know, in the long run, those people are referring us to their friends naturally, and they want to talk about the experience that they had buying a house through me and my team. And so that's so important for me, and I think it's the best way to do this business, because you're not starting over on January 1 every year. You've got other people out there that are referring you business, and that are excited to do that because they had that great experience. And I think all humans inherently want to share great experiences that they have. And so that's the process that we go through in helping our buyers buy a home. And I do believe that it provides a ton of value. It's so scary to go into a new area, especially, and buy a home when you don't know about the schools, you don't know about the area. And if you've never done this process before, it is very daunting as far as how many steps there are in the process. The contract is so long. There's so much, you know, language in the contract that's difficult to understand without any interpretation or help. And so we try to do our best to make sure that our buyers feel comfortable, that this process goes smooth for them, and that they come out, you know, feeling like they got the right house for them, that they can be happy in, and that will also appreciate over the years. Whereas other locations, when you buy homes in bad locations that are less desirable, a lot of times those homes just don't grow as fast as the homes that are in great locations. And so hope you've enjoyed today. Remember to subscribe to my channel if you want to hear more content like this as far as strategy goes for how to buy the right home, or property tours. I do a lot of community spotlights, and also business spotlights for different great places to go in the Denver metro area. So again, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you on the next one.